Hey everyone, Pastor Patrick Walker here. I am looking at Exodus chapter 30. A lot of different sections in Exodus 30, but I want to skip the first few verses, which talks about making an altar of acacia wood, and pick up on verse 11 through 16. Then the Lord said to Moses, "When you take a census of the Israelites to count them, each one must pay the Lord a ransom for his life at the time he is counted. Then no plague will come on them when you number them. Each one who crosses over to those already counted is to give a half shekel," which is not much. "According to the sanctuary shekel, all who cross over," verse 14, "must be 20 years old or older. They are to give an offering to the Lord. The rich are not to give more, the poor are not to give less." Everybody is to give the exact same amount. And this says, "This will atone," so a new word is being used here, "atone for your lives. Receive the atonement money from the Israelites and use it for the service of the tent of meeting. It will be a memorial for the Israelites before the Lord, making atonement for your lives." Now, I've got to confess, I don't fully understand this passage, but here's what I do gather. So in ancient Israel, generally, the only time you take a census is, number one, do you remember when Jesus was born, there was a census of the Roman world. It was in order to collect more taxes. So Caesar Augustus ordered the census. Everybody was to return to their hometown so they could be counted. I think the purpose in Jesus' day was the collection of taxes. In this particular case, God pretty much regulates how much money comes in. A lot of it's by free will offering to support the Levites, the temple, and the work of the ministry. But the other reason for the census is to prepare for war, essentially. So you're numbering your troops. And it's interesting that anyone who's under the age of 20 is exempt. So while we generally have the standard at 18, sometimes with parental agreement, you can serve at like 17 and a half or sign the documents, I guess. But generally it's 18, for them it was 20. And the interesting thing is, it says a ransom, a payment. Now this was sort of symbolic because it's not very much money. I don't know what it would be equivalent today. Let's say $100 today. So everybody's supposed to pay this, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, everyone pays the same, and everyone has to pay it themselves. You don't have somebody else pay it. You are paying it. And it's an atonement. It's to ransom your life. Here's what this is the best I can come up with. We see later on under David's administration where David has it in his heart. He's not told to do this. He has it in his heart to do a census of the people. I think more out of pride, because a census always communicates ownership. So the reason why there's an atonement money or ransom money is essentially saying my life belongs to God. My life is his life, okay? And if he is sending me on a mission to fight against an enemy, I think this ransom payment is essentially it's a payment to God, acknowledging that he owns me and that because perhaps of my sin, I deserve death in battle, but I am trusting that if I pay this, that he will regard my life as precious. I don't know. It's like Christ is our ransom payment. He is our atonement. We deserve death. Christ pays this atonement payment by his own blood so that we can be spared. We see the same principle here. Again, I don't fully understand the depth of meaning. I'm trying to look at this through the lens of Christ, how this is being set up later on, and it pictures Jesus. But I do know under King David, he ordered a census without God's without God prescribing for that to take place, and he did not collect a ransom payment at the time of the census, as far as we read in Scripture. So what happened? Exactly what verse 12 says. A plague came upon them, and many thousands died. So David disobeyed this, and I think it was out of pride, perhaps. So there's a recognition here. It's designed to attach our life to help us to recognize that God is the owner. A human king is not the owner of the people. God is the owner of the people. My life is in his hands. And if I'm volunteering for battle, which is what the census was about, anyone over the age of 20 could volunteer. They could cross to the other side. But when they cross, pay the ransom payment to the Lord. To say, God, would you consider my life precious? I may deserve to die, but do not devote me to destruction. Spare my life. Like, have mercy on my life. And they pay that ransom payment, and God accepts that ransom payment, and out of grace offers life to those individuals. And we know that in many of these engagements that God ordained he told him to go fight. Okay, so it was God that started the war, that God that ordained that conflict, that war. And if they obeyed these instructions and humbled themselves and recognized that God initiated, that their life is in God's hands, he's the true owner, they're going to surrender, they're going to put themselves in the hands of God through obedience. They pay this redemption payment, trusting, believing in faith that he would value their lives enough to spare them in the course of battle and return them to their homes, their families, their children, their wives, to enjoy the abundance and blessing of the Lord for many more years to come. So we see Christ, because Jesus is the ultimate fulfillment of this, that we deserve death because of sin. We are technically marked for destruction, but because of the grace of God, he offers, it's only by choice. This is not automatic, because you didn't have to choose to cross over and be counted among the fighting men. This was essentially when you went over, when you chose to go over, you needed that ransom payment. And Christ is our ultimate ransom payment. So a lot of themes. I still haven't worked through all of this together. So it's not crystal clear in my mind. And maybe that's why this devotion was coming across as a little disjointed, but something for you to think about as we continue to work through Exodus. And again, this is Exodus 30, 11 through 16. Go back, read that for yourself. Maybe you'll get another insight above and beyond what I was able to pick up. All right, till next time, God bless.